We are red. Red is on.
Okay, greetings. Welcome to the Thursday, August 9th, 2018 Selectmen's meeting. We've got a couple of things to say. Pledge allegiance first. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So, since we've got that, at 5 p.m. we're going to go next door to the Tuscan property to do some damage that have been done to a wall, plowing, and we'll be right back after that. I guess we could probably just go right in and do some minutes at 8:02. Yeah, you make this so easy for me. You set this up good. I'll bring the minutes of Thursday, August 2nd to the table for discussion. Review.
Do you need one?
No, you don't need a motion for it.
So why bother?
Right. Just when you correct
Just
it.
Just sounds
let everybody know what we're on.
Just when we correct.
Question. Selectman Scanlon read the list of 7 candidates. Shouldn't we include them in the minutes?
Yes. Yeah, I think that would be good to put them in there, so we can add them in there on that date.
I agree.
The second page, air conditioners, townhouse second floor. We say that basically the conclusion was that we didn't get estimates.
Do we what?
It says brief discussion on obtaining estimates to upgrade central air system to include the second floor consensus was to get estimates to.
Yes.
Selectman Dawson asked Joyce, the second page, to ask Paul Rachel to read the suckers. I asked that it be included in the
Yes.
request. Not town to do it, but to include it in the request from the previous week.
In the estimate, right?
Okay. Very bottom, 2017 audit. I think in that I also included other departments, not just sewer. I spoke with the finance director, and he's not going to address the matter with the sewer commissioners he's going to call the auditors because they're the ones who showed us our insufficiencies and please, not just sewer, but all departments. Well, it's hard to hear. Sorry. Yeah, we saw checks and balances, and there are several areas within town where we don't have those checks and balances, like at the PD, some issues of public works, sewer, even downstairs in the town clerk. So,
anything else? So I'll make the motion to accept the minutes Thursday, August 2nd, 2018 as amended. And we have a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? So moved. Unanimous. Okay, next thing, we have at 5 o'clock the wall visit. Brock called me up and they were outside working in a lot of heat today and asked if we could attend. And just went over some things with me that we can discuss after the visit. So Brock will not be attending.
really?
So we're all over alone?
Well, it was just that, and the chief's car over there, so.
Purpose was for him to be there.
Right, that was the main reason, was for him to be there because the town of Tilton is being accused of
Not
filing and hitting
putting it back the right
without
way.
putting it back. But I guess you could look at it during the week, because it's just gonna delay our response. We can do
Yes.
thoughts or ideas or.
Yeah, and we can discuss it when we come back. I discussed it with them.
Time is to discuss them with Mr. Sano while we're there, because Mr. Sano's not gonna be there?
I didn't think so.
No, it's just us and Chief Cigar.
Yeah.
They sent the letter, why do we need to?
And it's hard for them to come up except for like Sundays.
So, and I think once we view it and the information that I have, when we discuss when we get back, we'll give to discuss it.
We'll be back. We're back, time being 5:30.
Yeah, welcome back to the Selectmen's meeting of August 9th. So we just went over and took a look at the wall and the two-stem property. So, any thoughts we want to discuss?
I think the only thing left to do is to glue the blocks back in place. I do think they need to stop our snow on our truck.
And we'll go around the room and get an idea. Yeah, we talked with Chief Cigar, met us over there, and he's also going to make a little map of his area there and where is ideal for us to put the snow. Apparently we're putting some piles near the wall over there, so by relocating those piles to a different location should alleviate from any pushing or anything that would be done on the wall in the future, alleviate that. He'll be submitting that to us, and I concur that include the blocks in the same fashion as the other ones will do. And, make sure that they're straight, the other true to the wall itself. Peter?
Since the lower layers, I believe, are still attached, I would say we just find whatever epoxy adhesive needed and attach the top layer that we replaced.
Let's make it straight, put the adhesive in. I don't think that there's much more that we can do. We've already straightened it, we've already replaced it. We can't replace it with the same color. We know that. They've looked for them already. They've tried many different places and we can't get the same color. And if you look at the other side of the wall, it's pretty much a different color as well. So you can't accommodate that without replacing the entire wall. So I'm for letting them know that we've taken a look at it and putting the adhesive down because we can see that there was adhesive there. As far as leveling, the wall is actually sinking into the grassy area. The first layer, the first layer of bricks on one side where the corner is where the bricks were damaged, they're almost unseeable. They've sunken in so much. That's not something that the town has done. That's just over age and over years that's happened. So having said that, we can't really level it to the other side. The best we can do is to put down the adhesive and go with it. And because the other bricks already have adhesive, we can't even mix it up to spread out the other colors. Make it look, semi.
Snow.
And I think that the snow can be, that's a simple fix. If you remember, the last couple of years, we've had new people plowing that area. Dennis and Johnny Bilodeau and Fred used to take the snow from the municipal parking area and go all the way down to the largest tree down by the railroad track and then dump it there. There never used to be a pile in front of that wall in front of the fire station at all. Never. There never used to be a pile in front of the municipal parking area on the other side of the fire station as well. And this past year there was. I mean, there was a lot of snow this past year too. But given a simple request to the Public Works to say just push everything down to that area, that's a real simple. We can accommodate that, no problem.
And when they do their pickup on Main Street, they can
we can
pile so that each storm
Right.
they'll have a place to put it.
We can accommodate that very easily. I don't think that'd be an issue.
Very good point.
Well, then, Gail, then, so should we draft, put up a letter or voice, and we'll take a look at it, sign it?
You should respond.
Have the chief sign it, fire chief. Was it addressed in the letter?
No, I included the chief since they were the ones that, it was because of the fire department that they built that wall. Because all the runoff from the fire trucks was going into towards the building, and it got very icy for their customers to use the back door.
That's that. Going over some of the paperwork, Pat had a question on payroll.
I just have one request on payroll. In the past years, we've revamped our payroll with the PD so that it's very easily for them to interpret. When they work overtime, they put it in the description of what they put in for overtime. I see that in Public Works. Someone came in at 4 a.m. and there's no description at all, so we have no idea. I think as a town, we should know there should be something in that description that this is, was it a tree in the road, or was it a storm, was it, something to cover us, that this is why to trigger, this is why we asked for someone to called in and asked for overtime. It just says 4 a.m. to something. I'm not doubting that that person worked the overtime at all, but I think just for record keeping, could we please ask them if they could just make sure that if they work overtime, that we could just put it in the description.
Okay, so, no, to hidden number 3, Selectmen's reports. I don't remember which end we started last week. We can start in the middle.
Hey, that's a good idea.
So I'll start with mine. Tuesday morning, go through the center of town, 6:30, 7 o'clock a.m. Noticed that the river was coffee colored, like a cream coffee colored. A lot of turbidity. It was just a quick thing from the storm. What hadn't stormed for, I think, 12, 14 hours prior to that. On the way back home from work, I noticed that the same thing was going on. Went down to the Holiday Inn down there on 140. Water was clear, and then I drove behind McDonald's, and where they're doing this construction under 93. There was all the sand, clay was all washing into the river and leaching out through rocks into the river. I took a lot of pictures. There was no silt fencing whatsoever. The silt fencing had been piled up in piles in the woods and cast over to the side, and one piece about that long had just been driven over with a track truck.
And this was somebody working in that area?
This is the construction, Weaver Construction, that's doing the 93. They also had a 6-inch pipe running down from the top of the bridge where they've been pumping water and silt through that just ran into a drain that went directly into the river, with no sedimentary tracks.
Wow.
It was pretty bad. I went back down to the railroad trestle area opposite Cumberland Farms. I took some pictures from there. I also took some pictures from Salmon Run. There were some kids down there with their dad that were afraid to go in the river because it was so turbid from the sand. I explained where it was coming from. I also noticed by the island, behind all of the rocks, usually the bottom of the river is black. It's all gray, and you can see the sand actually piled up all around the island now. It was excessive, very excessive.
Where was the sand coming from?
From the construction site under 93. They
So-
removed all of their silt fencing and said
Okay.
all their stuff was removed.
They've been building berms out under the bridge in the river. What they're supposed to be dumping there is just large stone. And they're gonna get a little bit of stone dust with the stone, of course. But that's not what they were dumping there. It wasn't just stone.
Stone, sand, and clay.
Right, but where are they digging? They're working underneath the bridge.
There's a road underneath there, because their trucks come down to dump the stone in the river and make this berm.
So they can get to the pilings, trucks out to the
Okay.
pilings.
So it's part of
cranes out.
their construction
Yeah.
project to underneath.
About March, April, I had mentioned that there was something orange in the river down by
Right.
Morrison Ave.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that that's their silt fencing that's supposed to be up there for sedimentary dams. That washed all the way down in March, down to Morrison Ave, and I believe it's still down there.
Their silt fencing is down in the river.
It was. I remember I brought that
I
up,
know they
and
brought that up. Where is it?
should be right behind, at the end of Knapp Road is up more towards Morrison Ave. You can see it, but looking in that gap in the road by directly opposite Arthur's driveway.
Oh,
If you look down over the
you can
woods,
see
you
it?
can see it. Trees are growing a lot,
We should get a picture of it so we can let them know.
That was there in March,
About it.
so you haven't been very good stewards of the river, let's say.
And DES knows about it?
Yeah, I contacted Chuck Mitchell and told him I was taking pictures, about 30 pictures. And Chuck sent a letter to Linda Magoon from DES, as well as a couple people. The next morning I went back and it was still like that, and I told them they were still putting stuff into the river. So he made some phone calls, contacted Catherine, he called up.
I called DOT, and got a hold of the construction manager, Jim Bowles. And he said he would contact his DOT person up here and have them go take a look. And then John sent me pictures, and I sent those to him as well. He said they're really helpful. And then this morning he responded back. I sent you that email. He responded back that the Weavers was going to take some measures to prevent that from happening.
What did it look like today after that 3 inches of downfall we had late afternoon?
3 inches.
I was out in that mess last night.
That's what
5:30,
there were national weather warnings on TV and.
Yeah, and the Silver Lake Dam had it, I think, at 9/10 of an inch.
So
But I don't know what it looked like after that, but that had to have caused.
I went up there last night, and it looked like they poured more stuff in there, and they moved a little bit of the silt fencing, but everything else, the piles of silt fencing that they cast aside is still there, and they don't have much silt fencing in place around the construction project. So,
Are they finished with the project or
oh
no?
no, far from it, but it probably won't be done
They
this
just
year.
moved over to the other side.
Sorry, 6
Oh,
tenths.
Okay, really?
So somewhere on the plans, they have to submit where they'll put silt fencing.
How much was it?
And
6
they're-
tenths.
6/10 at Silver Lake.
Yep.
So we wouldn't have those plans here.
So I mentioned to Dari, I gave him access to the pictures, I sent him access to the pictures. So, this is a regularly occurring thing that people, they get washouts from the logging thing. And this is what causes the damage to the island. It raises the river up so that the water actually gets higher on the wall, and it's not channeled through anymore. We be very diligent. See that, perhaps start doing some inspections or DOT of their site with plans. DES must. I hope we can follow up on that. That's enough for me.
I'm good.
Good. Good to go.
We've been asked in the past to ask Tim about the licensing for IMC to add users,
Yeah, I have that.
and he has said for 3 users, it's $750 up front and $187.50 for support, which is $937.50. It's in your,
Oh, it's in an email?
and it came in at 5:30.
Be nice to see what the other contract was, just to see if it's a.
3 additional users to our existing 13-user license. The cost is $750 up front, $187.50 additional in an annual maintenance. Please see the attached.
Interesting to see how compares to what the 13 is per year.
So do we pay an initial cost and then just the maintenance?
Then it's just a maintenance.
Yes.
Which is the maintenance?
187.
$187.50.
That's per
Per, for all
per
three.
year.
An annual maintenance.
I'd like to know how that compares to the annual maintenance on the 13. Are we talking same unit pricing? Is it reducing because we're adding more? At a little, I don't know.
Well, I just gave the contract to John, it might say.
Is that just for the addition? Because if it doesn't tell me the original contract, it's, doesn't give me the answers I'm looking for. That's just the original. That's just this.
My comments on that are is, how many do we really need? Now, it was brought to my attention that there's a lot of people in there during the day that use it, but at the same time, people don't log off from using it, and in fact, some people log out 2 of the licenses so that they'll be guaranteed to have one in their cruiser as well as at their desk at the same time. I think we need to find out where it is and that it's being used, and also if typically what happens, you can set something up that if it doesn't get used for 30 minutes straight, it automatically logs off. Logs you off.
I asked him about that, and he said IMC does not have that capability.
You have to understand something that it's what you need is a critical nature. So if you have administrative staff at the PD, and you have a level of, let's say, 8 staff that are constantly using that the IMC all the time, that leaves it open for 5 people. So you have officers that come in, 2 during, so you have 1 in the morning and 1 that comes in around 11, and then you have a supervisor that comes in, I'm not going to tell you the schedule, but and then you have the sergeants that come in. So if those officers sign in and then go out to the car, it's very critical for them to get that information like that when they're in a vehicle. If you have a car stopped, it's critical. So you have one person that may be doing reports in the office, and one person's chasing down a drunk driver that needs that information that's very critical. Are we going to say, $187 a year or $900 a year, that I really need to hold back that information for the additional users because one person's not logged off? I don't want to take that responsibility. I get where you're coming from, John, because if we're in a town hall administrative setting, I would say, Joyce, log off, please, because we need this. Or Tim, log off, we need this. This is police out there doing what they need to do, and they need that information very quickly.
And, and we can talk, and the only thing I can say is if somebody forgets to log off, that's a problem. That's a disciplinary problem or a management problem. They need to go, and if you are done or you're going home for the day, you need to log off your stuff. You can't just leave it open and say, well, the town will pay another $900
I
for
don't
some
think
more
that
licenses.
that's as critical an issue
People
as it
shouldn't
is that they need
sign
the
on with
licenses.
2 licenses. Apparently sometimes some guys will go and sign on with 1 license at the desk and sign on another, pull another license at the cars.
What is that?
Lately, the issue in the last 6 months has just been showing of license. It's not a discipline issue or
Diligence. Diligence.
Yeah, it's actually, because I check when it happens, I check if Tim checks. And if it's a discipline issue, we'll deal with it, but it hasn't been. It's just been a,
Now, Tim said that he many times gets called up and he searches through it and sees people who left it open, and he frees up a bunch of licenses and they say, no, you can log out.
yeah, Tim and I just talked about this the other day, and it wasn't, we both looked and it wasn't the issue. And he agreed with me, it was just, what happens is you have officers coming in to go to court, so they pull in their reports to go to court, looking at a case. So you have some that aren't even on the shift, they're coming in to look at stuff. We have, Lisa might assign an intern to do data entry in IMC, so you get that going on. Jesse's in it, I'm in it, sometimes the Cap's in it. So there's times where we're all in it and we're all busy and legitimately in it for
We have
valid
16 people working at the police station during the day, all on IMC at the same time.
If you, wouldn't be 16, but if you have,
That's what all the licenses
If
are.
you have if vehicles or IMC in the cruises as well.
16 employees,
Right.
we don't have 16 licenses.
But
that's what they want.
we're doing 3 additional. The need for 3 additional is $750 and $187.
Oh.
It's $937 to do 3 additional
And then
licenses.
support,
I don't-
do we need
Is there-
support for it? 'Cause that was an additional fee.
I don't think they do it one at a time.
937 total.
Because I can tell you, working in a place that issues licenses for engineering, what happened is, they're very expensive. They were costing like $5,000 a year for some good engineering software. People were just, they had too many, they weren't being used. They cut them back a little bit, and everybody was worried that they wouldn't get one, so first thing they did in the morning was jump onto it, even if they weren't going to use it. And then they'd use it there, and then they'd go somewhere else on the floor, or somebody else may sign in there. So they'd have all these licenses that were out. They'd call the IT department. The IT department would look through. And so-and-so has 3 licenses, this one has 2. This one hasn't used them for 3 hours. Close, close, close. They'd be free, so it's I just don't want to spend the money if it's a case of people
I agree.
jumping on them, to get the license.
I totally agree with you, John. I'm getting a very different story than you are. I'm not hearing that.
It's a story I got when we were all sitting there.
Are we being held hostage by this IMC program? Is it outdated, antiquated? Should we be looking at a different type of program? If it isn't allowing us to manage this, is what I heard from Joyce.
That's what they all use.
Yeah, it's like 200 agencies in the state.
Okay, so for,
Yeah,
so-
kind of you are, but it's what they all use.
Right,
It's
but-
connected to all the PDs. Right, exactly.
I mean,
It's like
to
when I
most
talk-
people, this is dinosaur.
Right.
Well, if a lot of people were using this, would you still use the dinosaur? Or would you switch and then maybe others would follow suit? I mean, if you switched, you definitely want a program that would communicate with the IMC.
If we're in additional cost agencies, so when detectives search a name, it searches like 12 departments, all under cost agency. But if we didn't have IMC, we wouldn't be able to do that. So there's a lot of, it's kind of like when everyone goes to one software package, then in a way you're all,
So IMC has a monopoly and they're holding us hostage.
in Newark, actually the East Coast from New Jersey to Maine is IMC for the most
Well, they're
part.
definitely
What you see is,
holding us hostage.
yeah, what you see is software companies, like there'll be one that'll get all of Florida, Georgia, and they're all, for the most part, I think similar, there's some really cheap ones out there that don't work well at all. And I know one department went with a cheap one and regretted it, so now they're finally trying to get out of it. But they had signed a contract with this company to save money.
So there would be no hope to let IMC to improve because they don't have to. Everybody uses it.
They were-
And that vast area, there's absolutely no reason or need for them to improve. They have no competition.
Good point.
I mean, they were bought up
Amazing.
by a company called Tritech like 5 or 6 years ago, and they've become better since they were bought up by Tritech, and they're a national company. And they do not only police, but they do fire, EMS.
Do they do tier programs, or, like 5 licenses is this amount, 10 is this, 15 is that? Or individual, just ask them, charge?
Peter.
Yeah, Peter. Or they charge, so if you wanted 15 licenses, you paid 1 fee. But if you want 14 licenses, you buy individuals.
Yeah, they're, I mean, I could see if I could have Mark come in and do the regional sales person come in and answer questions.
Do you feel that we need the extra 3 to help out at the PD, or do you feel that we should wait and see the end of the year, or what's your
Also,
opinion on it?
it used to be like, when I just got it, once a month, once every other month, we would be short. And then I've looked into it, it was an officer who didn't sign up. That's like 9, 10 years ago. Lately, as of lately, when we're short, and I can't even log in, I'll go to log in and I can't get in, but I can go into the system and see why I can't get in. And it's all, everyone's working, all on their computers actually working. So I legitimately can't get in. That's becoming almost like a weekly problem. So it's gone from maybe half a dozen times a year, maybe up to half a dozen times a year, 3 of those times for someone coming out for 10 years ago. Now it's just happening all the time. So 2 licenses, I think, would be plenty, but it looks like they're being packaged into.
So Tim researched it, and he priced it out at 3.
Can't imagine.
That would be,
But if we have 13 licenses now, who are the 13 on a day that we have? We have a chief, a captain, a sergeant, a dispatcher,
prosecutor,
a prosecutor.
administrative person,
Okay,
Lisa,
No one could be doing the
Okay.
evidence, yeah,
okay.
why would evidence?
the detectives,
detectives. Then the cars on the road can log.
2 detectives,
Okay,
So they could be.
the sergeant,
Different cars on call.
okay,
1 sergeant,
yeah.
and then you have, so there's your 10, the chief, did you already?
Oh, I got the brass, I got the only thing left would be,
Now you have the officers on the road.
I got chief, captain, dispatch, Lisa, sergeant,
When you look
detectives,
at, when you,
prosecutor, and 3 patrol people in that big town. If you throw
And
in-
then you add the sergeants,
Yeah. Sergeants.
when you look in,
or you have one in the afternoon, one in the evening.
when you look in for,
Will they overlap?
when you look in pervasive and you look in the backside of this, if you come to the PD, I can show you. If an officer's in the patrol, they can actually each, so the detective module, the dispatch module, and the records module, and IMC's eyes are all like 3 different licenses. It takes up 3 different slots. So when I see Noelle's logged in, she could be logged into dispatch and records, but that's 2 licenses.
That's 2 licenses?
Yes.
Oh, no wonder.
Yeah.
So
And that's how it works. So if I have an officer that's logged into 3 things, then
I think the guy should come in and talk to us.
yeah, I can.
I think that's getting wrong. Extortion.
That's all.
So should we add him, or do you want to wait till he comes in?
Have to come in.
I'll just have them connected. Have them connected, yeah.
Everybody else want?
Talk about IMC.
No, I mean, have.
It seems like there are questions we have that he would be the best to answer, or she, whichever it is. That,
I'm ready to add him,
I don't think we
I'm a
should-
person that says the right tool for the right job, and I just can't.
I don't think we should wait long.
We
It's
will.
gonna take him weeks to come in. And this,
Remember when we were struggling for Google licenses?
Pat's describing it as a safety issue.
I mean, it's no different than when I was in Plymouth. It's the exact same. It works the same way. And as PDs get busier, it becomes more and more of a problem. You know, and I was just talking to Tim Jewett. They're running the same thing with fire software. That as they get busier, as more activity comes in, they're running shorter on licenses too. You have 3 trucks out, and plus people were in the station working, the ambulance is going. They're using the number of licenses they have. Tim just said, we're just talking about this. He's like, yeah, we're running into the exact same problem.
9 years ago, when I became a selectman, one of the biggest issues with the PD were having vests updated on a regular basis. Now, when you ask them, you go in there just randomly and say how things going, what, how can we better improve the PD? Could you please, the last 3-4 years, could you please get us more IMC licenses? And we've heard that
If you
at
don't
least
log
3
out and you're not
years.
using it, nobody else can use
But
it.
you
Yeah,
just
that's-
heard of
yeah,
it.
that's-
Everybody
it's not-
is,
You
Yeah,
sit there and lock the door of the bathroom after you leave.
but
Like,
everybody,
you won't
John,
have to
you
wait.
just heard the chief say, everybody that is logged in is working, and we still need more licensing. You just heard the chief say that.
Yeah, honestly, I look in.
I don't
can
know
see
what
if
else
it-
we
If
could
it was, if
describe
it, it was that before.
I heard different things.
Yeah, no, I,
So I heard different that there were many times when people have gone home from work and didn't log out, and somebody else will come in and check with
actually, I've never
Tim,
found
get him
him.
to free up a license.
The one I had is no longer there.
That's the manhole.
So that he was constantly, yeah. And so, right now, everyone's complying. It's just, they're just busy. And it could be the way the licenses are structured, that we're not,
I find out from September, no. Find out if some of the features of the program, how any time management does, so they want people to log out, auto log out or something if they're never using it.
I know I asked TriTech that, they didn't have it.
I forget what Tim said, they don't have an automatic timeout feature on them.
Then what would you do in the prosecutor's case who there's a lot of studying? So he's logged in and he's got this case and he's going through it and he's for half an hour not actively using it because he's studying this case and he goes, oh, yeah, da-da-da-da, he's logged out.
Yep.
Somebody automatically logged him out. He needs to get in to continue his
See,
work
let's
and
see,
he
set
can't
up,
get
let's
in.
say you set up for 2 hours, an hour.
You could also have tiers. He could be at an administrative level where they don't get bounced out and they're supposed to be responsible.
There you go.
And then for the patrol, you kick a time, so in the event they've stopped in and then they're out on the road, pick a number, 15, 30 minutes, it kicks them out.
Or I
We're in the
could-
middle
I
of
could
the
call
stop
them up,
and they've
call
got
the-
something really horrible going on.
Huh?
The guy from.
Mark Baranowski.
I don't know.
Mark, you could
Just
talk
call
to
him.
him.
My opinion is let the chief do his job.
It's not talking about doing the job. Put some information.
I know, but he's already told you that he goes in on a daily basis and looks at IMC when he can't himself get into the computer to log in himself to IMC, and he looks to see who's logged in, and everybody that's logged in is working, and he still can't get into the computer himself, the chief can't do it.
Well, he also gave us information that I've not heard before.
Maybe, yeah,
Multiple, like, so one person could be using 2 or 3 licenses because they're looking at different things. That's crazy.
yeah, they'll have this,
If you
they'll
have
have
more
dispatch
licenses,
up work
more
until,
people for rapid use of other things.
yeah.
We need to resolve this. We've been dancing around this for at least 3 years.
We added some.
And we added some, but we haven't resolved the issue of if they are not logging out and they need to, how would we fix that? And I don't want this, and it is a tool, that's right, it is a necessary tool. And in some instances, it could be a life or death tool. If they've got to identify an uncontrollable person out there, that could be life or death. So
I agree.
I don't want to wait. I'm not going to wait more than 2 weeks for this guy to show up. If he doesn't, I'm just ready to go in.
We're gonna call him tomorrow. Or do you?
Well, next week we
Or I
got,
can call the guy.
we have a really heavy week next week that we have the candidates,
But then he
whatever.
asks me the week after.
And then the week after, if he can come in the week after.
If he can, I'm just going to go yes.
If we can't, we'll just vote on it.
I mean, the problem really isn't log out anymore. That was at times, on occasional, a couple licenses. Tim and I can bump them out. And it was usually like they ran to a call, so they're typing their report and they just run out to a call. You know, or the occasional, and I haven't seen it in a long time, was the occasional midnight guy that just was so tired, went home and didn't log out, the midnight car. But that was like one license, and I haven't seen that for a while. The last 3 times it's happened to me where I physically couldn't get in, I get up and walked around the building to see who's in the building and on it, and I'm like, I can't boot anyone off. So I just couldn't get in, so I went and did something else. So,
See if there's anything they can do for us that. I don't know, if not, what we gotta do.
Somebody talk to them and get the information. Everybody's making good points. I don't know the least about it, so. Doesn't seem like a big process.
Right, we'll put it on the agenda for the 23rd.
Maybe if you can't come in, Peter has some really good questions and John did, maybe fellow can answer them
Call them up.
verbally or email, and you can just tell us what the answers are.
still need to see.
We're gonna go for conference call for tonight.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I just texted him to see if he's on his phone.
Do you know the phone?
Mark Baranowski. I just shot him a text.
Who's the backpack guy or the? Are they the only company that can sell licenses?
Hmm.
Can we have
Send
it?
us off.
Yeah.
Do we know on the end of Winter Street, is the state preparing to do a finish coat on Winter Street? Because I noticed that the Winter Street is cut out. From Main Street to Winter Street, there's a cutout.
The
Yep.
ground and edge,
Yes.
coming back to do a final coat now. That's where they're gonna start at the joint.
At the joint. Okay. That was just the other question I had. In the island, did we get any more complaints this week with on the island? With the parties or anything? Nothing? I checked them on Saturday before I went on my charter, and they were absolutely okay.
I checked on Monday, they were good.
And Monday too, they were good. So, we were fine. That was after the concert.
They haven't emptied them since the concert.
Bad at all. Wednesday, right?
They empty Wednesdays.
Yes.
So I checked on Friday and I checked on Saturday.
They're fine.
Yeah. Thought they were fine.
They're porta potties.
Well, then maybe that weekend. somebody
That
went
weekend
by the
was-
camper and said,
yeah.
Something happened.
That weekend was really bad.
In the middle of the night, oh, look, I can empty my camper.
That's it for me.
Excuse me. I was talking to Josh Carter the other day. We have some lamp issues in Riverfront Park, and he had given us an estimate for the conduit on our side of Main Street, but he hadn't given us an estimate for the other side, which I don't remember how it was left. I think he was only gonna come down to the trees by our parking lot, because the sidewalk on that side isn't wide enough, and there just aren't any trees to light. But he called me, so anyway, we were talking, and he called me back yesterday and asked me if it made sense, while we have the sidewalks open, to put in just some empty conduit for future possibilities. I mean, he's already mobilized, he's already gonna do a trench, he's already gonna put in conduit. It basically would be just paying for more conduit to go beside the existing.
Definitely. That's the whole job, is getting the whole, hundreds of cheap stuff.
Chuck conduit's the cheap stuff. I know at Riverfront Park, it's always an issue because there was none of that. It was an as-built, there was nobody thought to put in empty ways to get in plumbing or electricity. So
Isn't that why you hire architects and engineers?
Well, yeah, except when they made it an as-built. I hate as-built, that's why.
So he'll put in the conduit?
So when we have him put in the conduit that we asked for the trees, to light trees, just like he did out here for the rest of Main Street, we would simply add another run of conduit. And he talked about, when he came up to daylight, what he put in, and it was heavy duty and had a name for it, but I'm not an electrician, so well, I don't have to be dangerous.
I say yes.
Peter? All right, then
I think that'll be really nice.
I'll ask him to include that in his pricing, so you can see
Yep.
what that looks like.
Question on the north side, did he figure out where he was going to put a meter? Where he was going to tap in?
If I remember correctly, he was going to do it between the church and Pamela's building. When he was out there looking, there was whatever he needed to put in. So we'd actually have a meter there. Wouldn't be part of anybody else's electricity needs. I think that's where it goes in before it gets to their meter, so we can tap into that. And we'd have meter on a pole, I guess, I don't know. It's in that estimate. That, if I remember correctly, that was, so he would come out and it would go this way, like this. If I remember correctly. And then the other side, I think he was gonna come down from our existing electricity in Best Market Corner. I went to the gathering at the Bridgewater Power Plant. It was very good. I apologize, I guess I left my notebook with the information I got. It was the New Hampshire Timber People Association's event.
Yeah.
They are looking for support. There were a lot of legislative representatives, senators, even Nick Gordon was there. But he's looking for people to override the governor's veto. And it was very nice because nobody said anything negative about the governor. Nobody, I mean, there was none of that anywhere. They just said they felt that perhaps he didn't have all the information he needed
right.
and made a mistake. I thought that was really
Yeah.
refreshing and nice. And we toured the power plant. That was really interesting. And contrary to what most people believe, that power plant has a zero carbon footprint, from what I understand. In fact, when we were there was an environmental company testing their emissions through their staff, which is basically steam. They don't put any water into the river.
So no CO, NOx, SOx, none of that from combustion?
Because it's all steam. I don't know. It's interesting. Probably because EPA requires so many filters, but I don't know the details, but I thought that was interesting.
Well, except in combustion, it's like CO and NOx are opposites. If you reduce one, the other goes up, so
I don't know.
that's in fuel oils. Wood's still a fuel. It's,
I don't know.
I figured the carbon neutral is you release carbon if it rots, you release carbon if you burn it, so it's no
Is it
increase.
complete combustion?
Nothing's complete.
No, there's ash. Produces ash, so it's not, no, it doesn't get that hot. But it was interesting to hear the impact that the veto already has and how far-reaching it is. There were sales, and they call them inked sales, so someone signed a document and over $9 million worth that's it, they're done. They're not buying the equipment, and it's mostly the loggers and lumbermen, they, no, because 40% of our forest is chips. It's low-grade lumber, timber, it's not,
It's junk wood.
it's
Junk,
junk wood.
yeah.
Thank you. It's not for lumber, so it goes to produce electricity. The Bridgewater plant produces enough electricity to supply Plymouth with all their needs. So if they go offline, and they're one of, what, I think there's 6 of them in the state, that power has to be produced somewhere else, so it's gonna come from more costly source. It's just interesting, right?
And why did the governor veto it?
The governor vetoed it. In his veto letter, he cites that it would increase the energy costs for residents, and he was talking of the elderly and those on fixed incomes, because it has to do with net metering, and I won't get into all those details. So, he made a good point, but then they provided information that showed, in fact, the opposite would take place, because there's so much attached to the industry and to those bills, including, is it Real Grade that has, where we take our trash down there? They would be affected too because of the net metering bill. So if they closed, where would we take our trash? How much would that cost us?
No, the town sent letters on that particular bill.
Right, but I'm just saying, as I said, they're feeling that the governor didn't have as much information as he should have to make his decision, because it would have such a negative effect. They did ask if the Board of Selectmen in Tilton, like other boards of selectmen have, would send a letter asking all of our legislative representatives, state senators, Council Kenny, to override the veto.
Could we perhaps get some draft letters together and put them up on the website? And maybe people can just copy the draft letters and send them off to them?
I'll get it, this is the last thing I was talking about. In my packet, there are, there's a bunch of information, I'll give it to you, Joyce. And
Yeah, we
it's,
can scan all that information.
Oh, yeah, and the other selectmen can see it, but
Yeah.
there are drafts in there, like if I wanted to send an email to one of our senators, the senator guy that was there, that's in there.
Okay, yeah, if you could
That
let me
would be
borrow
good.
it and I'll scan
I'll
it.
go grab it with
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I said, I'm done.
Yep. That would be good, and then we can all do it, and then we can ask our constituents out here in townspeople to go ahead and do it.
There's a petition in it that they've been circulating.
That will affect the school, the biomass, though.
It's going to affect a lot. Like I
Yeah,
said, it's
it'll
so far
affect the
reaching.
biomass plant.
And Jason Stock asked if we'd CC, if we send a letter, he'd ask if we CC. I'll go pick that track.
Do you have an update? Oh, so I just talked to Mark. He said it's by terminal. And terminal can also be a laptop too. So if detectives are each on their laptop and, Al has one in the evidence room, all it would take is someone walking through the building to print a report to go to court, and that'll be the 14th license. We have 13. He said the minute that 14th person logs in any terminal, it'll freeze the system. He goes, so you're teetering on the edge of needing an extra one, but pervasive licenses are in 3s, he said. But he said if it happens again tomorrow, he said call support. They can take a look at it and see if there's anything they can do to help.
Can they do that? See if it's, can you take better management or something like that?
Yeah, he goes, I can't guarantee, but he goes, try that next.
Still have to look at how we use it.
Talk to
If
support
they could do
first.
it,
Yeah, that's what he said.
if they can do that, then maybe.
He said they can remote in and they'll be able to tell right away, like, yeah, you need to get another one.
And they come in, you have to get them in threes. The
Yes.
next lot would be 3.
Right.
Okay.
They were always in threes, the last one we did was threes. And he said he will be up here in a couple of weeks.
If they're always in threes, how did we end up at 13? Because it's not.
Buy the first buy one, and the next
Why
one's
didn't
a
you
3.
buy 3? Because we get, you said.
Yeah,
they
the
were-
first, I think
The
the,
first one,
Right.
always buy one, and then the next one's a 3.
yeah, because
Why don't
you
they
start
do-
out with a
Yeah.
package of like 5 or
It's
6.
just
and
out
then
to
go up
screw you,
from there.
because otherwise they do like breaks at 5, 10, you know, like Microsoft used to do and all. When you're buying bundles of licenses or Autodesk, there's usually, the more you
So
buy,
many users, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
and it-
Yeah, and if you're up before next week,
I will.
where we're at.
Thank you. Thanks, Chief. That'll help us out when we make a decision.
There was one more thing that I forgot to bring up. We received a letter forwarded to me from Gail. It was sent to my personal email from the crash email boxes, so I didn't see it until like 4 days after the fellow sent it. To all of us.
Oh, yeah, that's the one we got.
Did you, everybody get that?
He sent it to me
I got
after he
that.
sent it to you, and then I forwarded it to the board.
I was going
But the one that
to
might be
do
on.
something very simple.
Oh, well, this was last week. But anyway, he didn't want to sound like he was complaining, suggestions, and yes, his name didn't be used.
Right.
Says Selectmen's Council, hope you don't mind for go to mention a few things to suggest for improvements in safety to Tilton. Please appreciate my name not being used, which is fine. He's been watching the videos of the July 26th meeting and mentioned
Main
the
Street
weeds,
weeds,
yeah, the
yeah.
Main Street weeds and the appearance of them on. First, there's a lot of growth, bush, getting cover the welcome to Tilton sign when coming from Park Street. The sign is at the corner of Best Park, it's gateway to Tilton in 93, and heavily used, so it would be nice if the full name of Tilton to be seen on the sign. In the past years, I don't remember the bush growing into it. Needs something to do in about 5 minutes, but he didn't want to just start cutting stuff to help out.
Oh, nice.
But I think he was eager to help out.
How much they maintain business.
So, it would probably be neat to be maintained each month during the growing season, as this bush is very large. Second, was I am not clear on what is going on with the parking lot, the angled signs at T-Hop. I did see in the Selectmen's meeting a couple of weeks ago, it was mentioned that the Public Works Director is on vacation, but the correct angle of the parking spot lines and the upright signs enter only and exit only should have been put in at the same time, and the newly painted pavement arrows. As it stands right now, it's an accident waiting to happen and creates total confusion when parking there. This is how it's been a few weeks like this. I've seen cars almost collide when coming around the corner of the cement structure in the lot down near the river. And I think it's a priority that the upright signs and entries and parking spot angles be completed so all vehicles will be flowing in the same direction. That's it. I mentioned to Joyce if she could talk to.
Yeah, I did. After I spoke to you, I emailed him, and then when I saw him Monday, I asked him again. He said, Joyce, it will get done. I promise it will get done. He didn't tell me when.
The question is, why would we put the signs up a month ahead of changing the parking when both go hand in hand? It's like, if you couldn't do it all, don't do it.
I agree.
We took something that was functional and made it worse right now.
My thoughts were, is right now, I was sitting at T-Hop outside there, and it wasn't really great. People were saying, "Hey, do you see what's going on out here? There's people trying to come in this way and then doing turns like this, trying to face to the line. So I think it would be great, and I'd be willing to do it myself, get a bucket of driveway coating, paint over those white lines early in the morning. Down at 5 o'clock in the morning, leave some cones out, paint over the white lines, at least people will start parking in the direction.
I'd rather just bag the signs until he paints the lines.
You got arrows too.
They painted white arrows in the middle of the road, in the parking area.
Oh, I thought you meant Route 3, I was like, really?
Oh, no, big
Big
white
arrows?
ones, yeah.
No,
So it's not just signs?
I understand how busy everything is, but this was a mistake or a
An accident.
problem that was created, and it has to be
By
uncreated. And it should be done immediately, in my
So-
opinion.
Well, can you just cover the arrows?
If Public Works doesn't have time to do this, and they have other things they feel are much more important, why couldn't we hire?
The same people that did the lines,
We hired a company a few years ago to do
the,
our,
the parking.
why wouldn't we hire them to do that?
Is it Lakes Region striping?
Well, because your cost, you're gonna pay more on mobilization than you're gonna do for striping. We have a machine, it's not that, what's so hard?
I don't know, I'm just saying. Being the most Board of Selectmen wants to tell the Public Works Director, to paint those lines and you'll have it done before Wednesday next week. Just throwing out options.
You know,
Maybe
I
you
like
should,
it.
maybe you should ask him, do you want us to go over and put driveway sealer over the existing lines
even
until you
if
have
no
time to
lines,
do it? I don't know.
The raw manual lines.
Oh, that's no rush.
Just go over there with driveway sealer, paint over them. First thing in the morning, they come in early, put the cones up there.
Don't you have to sweep them and all that?
Doesn't have to be a big job, please.
Yeah,
I mean, you have a leaf blower.
Oh,
I could do
do
it
right
before
after
work.
it rains, let it dry a little bit.
backpack over there, backpack.
Right, I'll do it before work if you can't do it. If I get
Which
permission.
way do we wanna go? Hire it out, order the Public Works, do it ourselves.
I say hire it out, get it done.
And there's no telling when they can get to it either.
Oh, that's true.
T-Hop is closed Monday and Tuesdays.
Could we have this done Monday or Tuesday, regardless of the method? How's that?
Yeah.
So tell our Public Works Director to get it done before Wednesday.
You could hire them to do it, or
But how long would it take to hire somebody?
Yeah, he's not gonna get, I doubt if he's gonna hire somebody to do it before Wednesday.
Well, if he can't do it, and he wants to have Lakes Region Striping do it, and Lakes Region Striping can't do it until a certain date, he should be able to send Wyatt out there, or Rob, with a bucket of driveway sealer and cover up the arrows.
yeah, and even if you could just.
That'd be the
stripe it,
quickest and-
Do it, chalk lines. I'll help them throw in more before work. It's gotta get done. It's horrible.
Is Johnny
And
back
the
from
brush can get
vacation?
done- The brush can
He
get
is?
done by Paul at the park,
So,
part of that.
it's not part of his, I don't think it's part of his job description for what the park commissioners hired him to do. I mean, I think there
Trim a
is,
bush.
I think there is some trimming, I just don't know what you're describing, is it just trimming?
I don't know. I'll go do it. If somebody can't go down there and trim a bush.
I can
on
call
the side.
Paul, he probably knows what we're talking about anyway, let me talk to Paul. Well, yeah, see, I can talk to Paul, but that's a park commissioner's directive, when they just met.
No, let's do it.
The bushes are overgrown in Best Park and blocking the sign.
So. the
Oh,
Board of
you have
Selectmen-
control over that. Park commissioners have control over the best pocket. I get it.
Right,
And,
so.
and Paul manages, he does the maintenance on that, so he should
So
just do
you
that.
talk to him about it and see if he can't trim some of it.
Yeah, we'll see him in the morning.
It'll be easy.
Yeah, but if, I can bring it to his attention, as long as it's within his job description,
Got it.
that's fine. But if he says it's gonna cost extra, that's not something I can say, yeah, go ahead and do.
Well, we can say, yeah, go ahead and do it.
And
We
then-
can right here now and say, and then we say it comes out of our bill.
The Board of Selectmen could hire him if
That's
it's
correct.
extensive, to take care of, I just don't know how extensive it is.
Well, they give me permission to go down there, I've been pruning hedges my whole life, to just cut some of
It's a safety issue.
the brush, yeah. This is.
Well, if you wanna do it, that's fine.
We have to look at our downtown, we've got weeds that are growing out of control, we've got suckers growing out of the trees haven't been pruned, the signs are being blocked. This is horrible. This is horrible. And
So I'm just saying, if you want to,
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm telling you how it can get done.
I'd say let Paul go ahead and do it. We'll find the money in the budget.
Well, yeah.
Well, Paul's doing the trees on Main Street
Yes,
and spraying the weeds.
yes, we'll add it to that.
I'll talk.
Yes,
I know, I see.
we'll add it to that.
I see the drift.
So you're gonna talk to Paul about Best Pocket.
So you want to do the trimming prior to running it past the Parks Commissioners, whose charge is to maintain that park?
If it's within his job description, I'll just let him know the complaint came in. He's not gonna charge us any extra.
Right.
That's fine. But I can't authorize an expenditure from the park commissioner's budget.
Right. Got it. We got that.
That's why I said it's within his job description. That's just, oh, hey, by the way, Paul,
But if it's something that we feel that we really need to have done,
His
I mean,
regular,
can we ask you to get it done? Is that within our purview to do that?
if the board of selectmen want to hire him independently of the park commissioners to do work,
At the best part that we can do it?
yeah, because this sounds like it's not in best.
Can we just move on?
it is.
This is out of control.
It's
I am
this-
serious, this stuff is out of control. I cannot sit here and be a chairman of a meeting where we're sitting there discussing pruning a hedge for 20 minutes. I'm not gonna do it. I'll
John, it
leave.
depends on
I'm not
where
gonna
the-
put up with this
It
stuff.
depends on who owns the hedge.
Somebody's not doing the work that should be done. Let's just get it done. Get the people from Parks Commission here, make the call tomorrow, get it done. Just trim the hedge. Let's move on.
Maybe it'll be trimmed this week.
So we done with selectmen's reports?
I think we're done there.
And I hope the,
What's next?
Public input,
public,
just ran.
Now, when are we gonna do the chief?
Chief, well, we've got town administrator.
We said you want to meet with them and talk to them.
we want to meet with them here. Why do we want to meet with
Chief go over his evaluation.
them? We were gonna meet among ourselves to go over his evaluation. Did we want the chief here when we went over his evaluation?
And last week, they said they wanted both Brock and the chief to come in.
Huh?
And then
We were
Brock
gonna
said,
talk
and
to
then
the
Brock.
chief about the IMC.
Yeah, about the licensing. But we're not gonna talk to him about the evaluation. Well, to my knowledge, anyway. We haven't even looked at it yet.
How is the hiring coming along?
But they are doing PT tests this week on a couple others. And I believe Nate started a background on one. So they work behind the scenes, they're working on some stuff to try and get some eligible candidates. He feels comfortable that he's got 2 or 3 really good ones.
Certified?
Possibly 1. Yeah.
Good. Anything else? Good.
No, it's just been busy with the heat yesterday and today.
Thank you for helping Chief. We discovered someone downtown that ended up being homeless and he ended up getting a bed for
It was really nice.
very nice.
I contacted the chief to make him aware of the board's discussion on the fireworks and the problem with that one resident, and getting together with the fire department and coming up with a permitting process, because that's still an issue down there, so he said he'll look into it.
Yeah, I talked to Tim, and right now they just do want permits for like public displays, like events, but they don't do individual permits, so,
Belmont,
no,
No,
our fire
fire
department.
yeah, I'm fine.
He said this year was good compared to previous years.
Belmont just came up with a fireworks ordinance, but they included a permit, which we're supposed to include a permit, but we never approved the permit, which would make it easier for you folks to say, do you have a permit?
Right.
So we're working on that because we just got the Belmont copy, so we're trying to, I was working on comparing both of them, and we should probably send it to you, so you can take a look at both of them.
I'd include Tim's usual too.
Yep, and take a look at them and get us a permit so that you can have better teeth to go out there and say, geez, you should have a permit.
Right.
It's only right, and then the fire can look at it, you can look at it and say, yeah, you should have it, so it's okay to have fireworks here on this night. Or it's not okay.
I know the 4th, they were busy with some, I looked at the long, some crazy
It
busy
seems
stuff.
like every Saturday night we have it over in the Winter Street area, between 9 and 10.
Tim, this is for a motion. Apparently, we've got a great deal on the copier, too much. This one is coming up with bankruptcy court.
It's been awful. Compared to the one we have downstairs. I mean,
Went up
get it
for
to
the-
the door.
It's in,
It's in already.
yeah, there's something in the patrol, it's,
Took 5 people to bring it in.
So it's
Good size.
our Conoco Minolta is 7255. It was the old copy that was at Town Hall. So that went up to your office after it left here. It had 1.7 million copies on it. Okay. We purchased it in 2009, get a lot of use. In fact, there's a lot of stuff that we send out to be printed that's now done in-house at the PD, and saved a lot. It's been fully depreciated, and he'd like to decommission it and have the hard drive wiped, moved out, and have the new copier put on a contract. So he's looking for a motion to permit the finance director to remove the Conoco Minolta 7255 copier from fixed assets once a replacement has been placed in service at the police department. So, does anybody want
Also move.
motion? I'll make the second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 So moved. That was unanimous. Find those. He's got connections. That copier that he got is very, very expensive. We got it for $0, and it has 79,000 copies on it.
You ready for me?
Yeah.
Okay, under action items, I've got the appeal to the board on the housing standards ordinance. We had that last week. And then I need a non-public session to, on the New Franklin Apartments. I've got some quick personnel updates for you, a real quick update on the sale of town property. On the Tuscan Hill property, I'm gonna draft a letter to the Sarnos for the board to sign. Cindy sent me an email today and wanted to know if the town would approve paying for the framing of the town hall deed because she's exceeded her budget. And I said, yeah, I'll put it in admin because we still have money in admin supplies, but our admin supplies are down there. And then she asked if she could also move from her budget because she's showing a minus of the cost of having it restored into the admin budget. And I said, well, I'll ask the selectmen, but we can't absorb that 400. See,
So it's
'cause
all our budget, so her portion of her budget, what does she want us to do?
to pay for the framing.
No, I got that
Yeah.
part, the moving part?
The restoring.
Yeah.
The restoration, to take that expense out of her line item because she's showing a minus and move that expense into our town hall's building and supplies, building maintenance. Because our supply budget, we're real close. I mean, we're only half a year and we're already spent, we only have 21% left or something.
Can we find another place to take it from?
It's sitting minus for a while.
It's up to the
It
board.
doesn't sit minus forever, it's a bottom line budget.
Right.
The reason we have so many lines in our budget and we did what we did is for transparency. If we've overused that budget, then it should stay a minus so people can see and ask and we can say.
Where the money was spent.
Right, this is
pretty
what
common.
we spent and when.
I know, I'm just saying, I have no authority to say that to her. I said, I will bring it to the board. Only the
Our
board
answer
can
is
transfer
okay,
expenses
that
between line
happens.
items.
Sometimes you do go minus.
I think if the issue is that she just doesn't want a minus budget, then just better know that it's okay to keep it that way for transparency. But if the issue is that she's looking to purchase something that she's not able to purchase for some unforeseen reason because she's
In the future, yes.
overexpended the budget,
Yeah.
Come to-
then perhaps come to us with that and we could probably find the money someplace else in the budget.
Yes, that is correct. Okay.
Very simple.
Okay, and then I have received a request, the board received a letter wanting to purchase tax deeded town property. Remember the law change where they clarified that the legislature has more or less blessed, I mean, we were doing it under as justice may require, and they said by all means, now they made it clear that towns can sell town property that's been taken by tax deed to abutters, but there are some contingencies on that. That it has to, if it's to improve open space, to maintain open space, if it was going to be for an affordable housing development. Of course, I don't have the law in front of me, but I gave you copies of the legislative changes last week. And the other is if it will, in areas that are very densely populated, to remove that density. I know that the city of Franklin, that has been their policy, because they take a lot of tax deeded property. And, they could sell it and just go back on the rolls and then it would, oh, that's the other thing, it can only be vacant land. It can only be vacant land.
So we have people that want to purchase,
There isn't a butter that would like to purchase it. And I updated the
Which property?
we only have one.
U79, that's the letter, and then you want to pass these
What
around.
is the property?
High Street Extension.
High Street Extension.
Oh,
Do you want to pass
the one
those?
that goes from High Street Extension over to Cedar.
Yeah. So I updated through today what we'd be owed. Who's the abutter? It's in the letter there. You want to pass the letter down? There's 3 abutters. Now I'm trying to think that.
So do we notify all 3 abutters? Or do
Oh, I
we
would.
just?
Because they have the ability to.
So the
So similar like to.
jointly owned,
Hmm?
all 3 jointly owned,
All 3 jointly owned.
there's 3 abutters.
Yes, 3 abutters, 3 different people.
They all 3 want to own the property?
No, just, they may.
Just one wants to own it?
One asked, they would like to. They were interested in bidding on it the last time. But they weren't prepared.
To a couple bidders. last time.
Right.
And
And one reneged. No, the one
The one
that
won,
got it
and
reneged.
he reneged, and then the
Second bidder.
Second bidder reneged too.
Right. So if you wanted to do that, this is an inexpensive way to
Keep green space.
keep green space and also to suggest that they merge it. Keep it open, so they'd be paying taxes on a regular lot, or merge it.
If they merge it, then the criteria doesn't apply any longer. If they merge it, it goes into the regular.
Yeah, it would be in the regular taxes.
They wouldn't have enough to build on if they merged it.
What's that?
Existing, would they?
Say that again,
They
Pam?
only have one house per lot in that area.
No, they could keep it as a separate lot of record and sell it, but in order to be able to even offer a vacant lot to an abutter, there are those conditions. Either keep it as-
The criteria.
Yeah. It'd have to be kept as open space,
It is separate on the deed.
Low-income housing.
low-income housing. It has to be a
Affordable
public benefit. The public benefit is
But-
reducing the
Yeah,
density.
I could say, yeah, enough to do it, get it real cheap and then sell it.
Right, well, no,
So
we
we
would
put
explain
that
to
on
them
the
these,
deed.
yeah, these are the,
But would that be an
Conditions.
addition that would be on the deed?
yes, we can put that on the deed.
So I think we want them to know that something would be written up on the deed.
Can we put it on the deed that they, is it legal for us to put it on the deed for them to merge the property together for one lot?
There's an easement. so-
Yeah, because you're keeping it as open space. They're not gonna build on it.
Except, what you read to us, they could keep it as a separate lot, but low-income housing on it.
Yes, they could.
What is our density requirement? I mean, our density for lot apartments in that area?
Well,
That could change.
things change. Some. they
Right,
could-
so it would have to
they
be
could-
in the deed, that's a condition
Something could happen.
of the conveyance.
So we can make that a condition of sale that it remain vacant.
I mean, that's what we're doing now, we're just keeping it vacant. The town
It would be
owning it.
nice to get some taxes for it, rather than us just keeping it and basically the responsibility of maintenance on it. It will be someday.
If it remains open space.
If it merges, then you get even less, because it's now one big lot, and it's not like the value of the lot's going to increase with the value of separate.
Well, but if they buy it and our condition is it remains open space, you don't need to value it right there.
Yeah, no one's gonna buy, no one would be buying an open lot as open space.
But if we go ahead and with the understanding that there are certain criteria and say yes to that criteria, I'm okay with the housing, low-income housing, because it puts taxes back on to that lot. Or open space, which would be really nice. And taxes to that lot we would be getting anyway.
I wouldn't be okay with low-income houses in that area of town. Not in that neighborhood.
Did you keep your packet from last week that had the law in it?
Have you seen the other property?
I'm sorry.
Did you keep the handout that I gave you from last week?
You emailed it to us, I believe, right?
Yeah, the legislative update.
Yeah, I think you
Oh, that
emailed
was
it.
right.
Yeah, let me read it.
I thought it was email.
Going to Tilton NHW.
In 2011, low-income professional for family of 4 with 2 children was $45,000. A lot of people. And that's in 2011. It's probably like 50 or 60.
I can't get to it from, you have it.
Joyce, is your
That's a January
recommendation this bottom line here, over here to the right? On this?
No, I just,
You did, You just updated?
I just plugged in the date of August 9th, and it recalculated what the interest is.
Okay, so you're not making a recommendation on purchase price?
No. That's what the town would be entitled to. Plus, I estimated the $1,500 in expenses, because, I mean, I know what our expenses are, because remember, we bundled those, we bundled Noise Road and High Street Extension. So I have that number, I just have to go in and divide it by 2. And then there'd be the additional expenses if we had any of either advertising it or sending letters to the voters.
Can we get a closer figure next week as to what your recommendation is for a purchase price based on what our total expenses are? Not necessarily with, without the bottom line one here.
How much the bid?
I think it was
26. We went to 25 and the 26 one didn't go.
Going for 25.
Yeah. Right, yeah?
I'm sorry?
Didn't it go to 25?
See, I wasn't here for that.
It really doesn't. I'm in favor, but I really want to hear the recommendation from you and Tim as to what you would recommend based on what our expenses are, what you have in it,
Oh, but
without that bottom.
yeah, but our expenses are minimal.
But then I would like to see what our recommendation would be.
Okay, because the actual tax amount and
Yeah.
interest amount is the first number.
Yeah, I know. This one right here. Okay. So if it was somewhere around that, we would be comfortable.
And I didn't realize, but this law just went into effect in July of this year, so.
Where's everybody else? Here's the letter back.
But I think that by rights, we should offer it to the 3 abutting parcels, because they could all take advantage of this new law.
I think there should be some type of easement put on it or coverage on the deeds that doesn't get sold as something else if we're going to do it like that. If not, we should sell it at just regular auction.
Right. Because you would get more money if it was going to be able to be developed. You have more interest it was to be developed, but if you wanted to make a requirement that it had to be merged to their lot, then those 3 people could, I mean, put yourself in your situation and say, oh, the lot next to me is available. I want to protect it. I want to keep open space. I'll merge it.
But maybe I'm retiring next year, so I'm going to buy it at a scale, and then I'll be out of town.
Put a spec house on it.
Split house.
Right. So that it'd be to the town's interest, because, you know, open space, yes, we take some costs, we're not raising any tax revenue, but we're not raising any additional expenses. That's the polite way of saying it.
Oh, by
Yes. And merged.
So it sounds like we're kind of in favor of it, we need more information.
yes.
I'm sure that there will be other people that will say that it would be in the best interest of the town to sell it as a buildable lot.
Loaded with granite. You have to have a slab, not like you want to put a slab on.
And make it affordable housing.
Right, exactly. To make it affordable, it's very difficult. I mean, for your own benefit, yes, maybe, but to make it for affordable housing, put it on a slab because of the granite.
But I think, I mean, Tim and I differ on this. My recommendation would be, if you have an opportunity for a parcel like that you want to keep an open space and reduce the density in that area, because it is just a little tiny neighborhood, I think it'd be in the town's best interest to sell it and keep it open with the provision that nobody's going to be building. Well, maybe they might put a garden on it or something, or butter,
To be honest with you, it actually raises the taxable value of
other homes
the
around.
other homes around there because you have this open space and it looks
Right, yeah. Whereas finance is thinking, right.
How does it affect it if it's merged with another lot? I don't see that.
But they don't necessarily have to merge it with another lot. You know, if they keep it,
Keep it open, but
It'd
it'd be
If
paid.
I keep it separate, I pay more. Separate lot's gonna be more than merging it in,
we
so.
can require it to keep it separate too.
Then why would I?
I think we
They want
just
it,
But to
need
merge
to
it,
require them to keep it open space, we can do that. And if they wanna merge it, let them merge it, if they don't. Really, for us, I mean, Pierre's point, if it's an open lot, but let's not put too many constraints on people, live free or die. We want it to be open space. That's
good.
all right, well, I'll give you, yeah, so this was just for discussion and we'll talk about it.
You'll find more information.
Okay.
Yep. Sounds good.
Chuck Mitchell sent me an email asking the board Joyce, will you please bring the name of Sandra Steadfast Marshall to the select board tonight to be appointed as an inspector of elections for the Republican Party. She's agreed to help half a day in September. If you need this written out differently, please let me know. I said, no, I'll just bring it to you.
So moved.
So seconded.
all in favor.
All right.
Aye.
Fastest one
Unanimous.
Okay. As you know, a week from Monday, starting on the 20th, we're going to be having our carpeting done. So we're starting to prepare our offices for moving things.
Did
And
everybody hear that? The office is closed August 20th and 21st.
so, as you recall, we're moving the copy machine and everything over into what was the former land use office. So that means there has to be some additional cabling and wiring done. So Tim has contacted the company he uses for cabling. He could be here next Monday to connect a phone extension in the conference room, move the fax line into the new copy conference room, and an Ethernet line for the copier to the switch in the basement. And he said he's at the mercy of their scheduling to do that. That's why it's Monday. So that means that Monday we need to move the copier. We have to figure out exactly where we want the copier to go, because also the file cabinets are going in there. That's going to be the copy room, assessing office, folding room, have a nice table, postage
The other one
room.
going to be.
Is IT, all IT stuff.
Do we have enough electrical outlets?
We got tons of outlets in there.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Al had those put in. He had like 8. What was that? 8 here. So I just wanted you to know that there'll be some disruption tomorrow and Monday in getting that thing moved. And then also that brings me to the next thing, because as I'm going through the files and getting things set up and scanning, like today, going through the parking thing, like I've got, this is all the correspondence, I'm like you, I don't throw anything away, when we did our whole parking plan. So as I go through this, I'll probably be able to throw half of this away, because we're just like, you know, work in progress stuff, but I want to get them scanned and move them downstairs. So, which is basically what I'm going to be doing, just about everything in the office. So, as I finish each project, I've been working a lot of evenings, because that's the only quiet time I have to actually be like finishing something and getting it set up to a point like, okay, I'm at a point now I can leave, I'm not going to do anything more with this, and here's where I'm leaving it off, and it's all right there for Gail and the new person, and it will be scanned and in the basement. My office is going to be so clean. So I'm going to work on my regular projects I'm supposed to be doing, which is the Class 5 road. That's a major thing that has to get done. Ernie's, Sam, the person we're supposed to meet with on the Salmon Run, he's out for the entire month of August. But we really should meet with him in September, because as we start our next budget cycle, we're gonna need to know if we're gonna be, what we have to pay. And so I bring up we do have a municipal, disposition of municipal records policy. And we do. I don't throw anything away, I gotta start throwing things away. This was adopted
Very sore subject.
adopted October 18th, 2007. And in accordance with the statutes, because we go by the statutes, it's the Board of Selectmen who is ultimately responsible for everything. Hereby designates the following municipal officers to serve on the Municipal Records Committee: town clerk, tax collector, treasurer, town administrator, and the assessor, or the assessor's designee. And the purpose of the committee is to govern the disposition of municipal records pursuant to this chapter. Every year they update this list on how you have to keep things. Like before, they required you to keep all employee files for 50 years. You don't have to do that anymore. It's 30 years now.
How many?
50
No, not what is it now?
employee
No,
records.
about how many?
30.
No,
30. So, and it's specific to each department, town clerk, tax collector, finance. Tim is really good about boxing up his thing. I mean, he could January 1, bang, it's in a box label, it's down in the basement. No problem there, but I think we can get rid of everything that's, I personally like to keep 10 years, they only require 7 years, or in a lot of instances with accounts payable and things, 3 years after your audit. I said keep them 10 years. So we have boxes down there from 1993. So one of the things I want to do is go through all that, and then Tim said that you guys use a service that will come and take everything away and shred it.
Belmont does. We don't. Belmont does.
Oh, Belmont does.
Yeah.
Doesn't Cindy have a company that does that?
Cindy?
There's lots of, you can look them up and they'll come by and they look at the
Yeah,
curve
Belmont
and
is-
they shred it right in front of you.
Yeah.
Right.
It could be a-
There's lots of them.
Town like shredded it.
And-
I'm all over that.
And then I'm going to be sending a request to the sewer commissioners. I know, I mean, the Board of Selectmen are responsible for disposition and saving of records. So if the sewer commission, as sewer commissioners, you could go through, follow this same procedure and go through and dispose of your records, because there's an entire corner down there that is just nothing but sewer commission things that are all stacked up, and we're really tight for space there. So if they want to participate in this,
Well,
and
that was the records that were moved when we had the leak. Yeah, they're not in the file. They're in with the
Right.
leak.
Safe.
Right. as you
It'd
go.
be nice if we could do it at highway once a year or something.
oh, okay,
Like, just have them.
Well, and,
yeah, because on Monday the 17th, the movers are going to move it into the loader, and then from there, Brock was going to take it down to the highway garage.
meet them right there that day. So I think it'd be nice enough to just take it through the building.
Oh, they are, yeah.
And then they don't want it, this person would love to have that safe.
Okay. But how are they going to get it?
Down the truck.
They'll have a truck.
Contract.
The safe has a valve.
They love it. Great.
Which one?
It's a day in town.
The one in Cindy's office, the old post office safe, that's what it was. It's the post office used to be.
Well, Brock was just going to store it down in the highway yard somewhere.
A fellow that I work with and his father-in-law. Okay, very good.
I don't know, there's enough value.
Okay, just fill that up if you want value.
That's value. I mean, it's listed on our assets.
We tried
We were
it.
trying to get rid of it for the past
Yeah.
20 years
Well-
and nobody wanted it. I found somebody, now we weren't charging.
Well,
Just
we-
kept
And we're moving it, wouldn't that be a good
we've had some, what, it's listed on the town's assets, you can't just give it away.
Tough
So
to-
we have had several people wanting it, and I know one in particular was foiled.
Okay, well, let's do this, because we gotta get it out of there, and we'll proceed with our plan, and then we'll post it on our website. Yeah,
No, I'll tell them to look on the website.
okay.
So
And,
it's easy.
and then, best offer?
I remember when the church wanted it, we said give it to the church, but then they couldn't come and get it because the logistics couldn't work out, because we were gonna give it to the church, remember in Sanderton?
Yeah. And we just didn't know how to move it.
We didn't know how to move it.
It costs money to get it out of here, and we said rather than spending the money, if somebody can move it out, they can have it, so we didn't have to spend the money on riggers and all that stuff, so now I'm not there to do that, then.
We'll figure it out. I don't,
For another.
we just have to figure out the asset part of it. I don't really think that there's a lot of value in it.
I just know it's listed under the town's assets, it's part
Yeah,
of our
Tim can tell us how to,
inventory. And
Tim can figure that
I'm
part
not
out.
at liberty to just give things away.
Now, this is gonna be the tough one. It says correspondence by and to the municipality, retain as needed for reference. So, I'll just use my best judgment.
Don't throw away any of the site plans.
No, you can't, they're permanent.
No, don't throw anything, I don't care if it's from 1800, don't throw it.
Yeah, no, land use is permanent. Anything pertaining to land use is.
Don't throw minutes away.
Now, this is the other thing, and I have a tendency to agree, but I can't let go of it. When you get new deeds, listing from the registry, we get copies of deeds, we can discard them after we've updated our assessing card. I would never throw away a deed, but you can go online and look at them.
Well, we're not the deed registry, but it is a valuable asset if you're looking up information. I know, I just spent 20 minutes today trying to find somebody's phone number, but we
Right.
don't keep those records.
Right,
in our
so-
page.
So, I mean, that's the bulk of the files that we have in there.
But I did find information on the deed that
You
will
did,
help me get the
okay.
phone number. So that's what I mean, when you're looking up, trying to find someone, those deeds are very helpful.
And then I'm assuming that you and Lisa follow this with all your police
Should
information.
do, yes. This is posted by agents.
Cindy's department, other than the warrants and her tax warrants, like all of her, a lot of things she can dispose of. But anything pertaining to tax deeds, tax liens, well, gotta keep it all. And that's the other thing too that's gonna be time consuming, is going through all those tax deed files since I've been here. And I'll just leave a summary of what was disposed of, what year, and what its disposition was. And anything I throw away in a box, I'm gonna say, and the date, because that's required too, is you need to document what was thrown away. So, and this is timely with the move, because, I have to start doing this. So, if there's any like major projects, like I mentioned that one with TES, budget stuff, getting things ready and I've already been sending things to Tim, and the Class 5 road. Other than that, is there anything else that you want me to make sure I finish before? Because then it's going to be eaten up with just, working with the riggers. So think about that. You don't have to tell me right
Do you
now.
want me to contact HVAC people to get estimates?
Yes, if that's something that you want to have in time for budget, then you're good at that.
I'm just trying to let you know.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Take off for 90 to make enough.
But, I will bequeath you my folder on HIVAC systems. Get it out of my office. Put it in your office.
I'll just get some. Go for it.
And then I just gave you some little status reports, and so we still have the appeal for the housing standards and the just brief updates, salary updates, and how did we leave New Franklin Apartments? You just want me to go ahead and write the letter? based on our discussion from last week. Unless you want to talk about it some more, because you had given us some additional information.
It's not really a
Okay.
discussion that I should take part of. Board of Health should do that. I think this read specifically that I shouldn't be taking part in that discussion.
In the new
I'm
Franklin,
here to
yeah.
supply answers if they have questions. So, but that's for them to decide.
So that's all I have, and it's 7:15. Did Pat get her birthday card? She did already?
And she had her chocolate cupcake.
Oh, she has, okay. And you sang happy birthday?
Yep, I,
You did? You did? Okay.
we're talking about you.
I didn't know, because I didn't come up, I just stayed downstairs before we went out, if you got your
It's your
card or
birthday.
your birthday.
Oh,
cake and
chocolate cupcake too.
everything. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
So that's all I have, so whenever
Let
you
me eat
want.
another one in front of you so I can.
You can, but I'm going for one of those apples. Because some of us want to try and do healthy. I'm sorry.
It's all right, I could have some coffee. I'm enjoying it, I'm just hanging out. I am.
The
I
chocolate
have to be
was
healthy
great
when
with
it's
the
your
apple.
birthday. Sorry. I have to be
You
healthy.
shouldn't be.
See, when you see the captain, tell him his homeless guy is not my homeless guy.
Different one.
These right here are my
Okay.
favorite things. So Gail, make sure we have a list.
Turns out I actually know.
Okay.
Are you kidding with the cookout on the island? You wanted a
Oh,
cookout.
d'oeuvres?
You wanted a cookout.
Yeah, I love that, yeah. Spare ribs, right, you told me?
Would you say spare ribs?
Yes. Oh, you mean that isn't spare ribs?
Chef Joe. All right.
Are we done with the public? Always like you done? Any more public?
Spread cold water on my face. I'm gonna
Okay,
sit for
so,
another hour.
non-public is personnel?
And
So-
And acquisition.
And the New Franklin Apartments and the housing deal.
So,
All personnel.
personnel. It's that, yeah,
Oh, that's real quick.
it's personnel. Right?
Yep.
Which is a, okay. We're gonna make a motion, we go into non-public as per RSA 91-A03, paragraph 2A, personnel, which is defined as the dismissal, promotion, or compensation of every public employee or the discipline of such employees or the investigation of charges against them unless employees affected has the right to a meeting and request that the meeting be open, in which case the request shall be granted. And I will read off the roll call. It's technically a roll call, it's, I do the roll call. So, I'm going to, you know, every day I'm getting this a little bit better. So I'm going to say Constantino.
May 3rd, May 3rd.
Don't we need a second before we go into voting?
I'll say Constantino.
Yes.
Dawson.
Yes.
Bog.
Yes.
Scanlon. Yes.
Next.
Alphabetical too.
Attorney General conflated.
We are red is
And
on.
that's
Nine-
that's his. and
Sorry,
the hash mark is
8:52.
us. On the tax map.
Motion sealed as the non-public session as it pertains to employees permanently. An acquisition until the matter has been resolved.
I'll
Second.
Pat seconds that, and we're going to do a roll call vote. Constantino.
Yes.
Dawson.
Yes.
Bog.
Yes.
Scanlon. Yes.
Yeah, think about that one.
I love you, it's really here.
Vote with your
Are
feet.
we ready to vote with our feet?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
A motion and a second to
Aye.
adjourn. All those in favor? Aye.
Good night.